broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
There it is. Wait for it.
Hey wrestling fans, this is AfterBuzz TV's WrestleMania After Show. It is not an April Fool's prank that a couple of us may have thought it was, because it is the Wednesday after WrestleMania. WrestleMania was in Santa Clara. All of us were in attendance, so it took a while for all of us to get back and get situated, but we're here now for you. If you're listening to my voice on iTunes, please feel free to rate us, subscribe, the 5 stars, the whole bit. And SoundCloud, same thing. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Like it, share it. And I believe our hashtag is #ABTV WrestleMania. That would be a good guess.
It's actually ABTV WWE.
Oh, that's fair.
Let's just do that.
Whatever.
That's WrestleMania is a lot of
It's less
characters.
for you to type. It's good.
#ABTV WWE. You can join in the conversation. I'm at Steve Kauffman, KAUFMANN, and I have an awesome panel.
I'm George Hermoza. I'm at Twitter on GHERMOZA. I'm also on Instagram. You can see I posted a lot of pictures on my Instagram about this past weekend. It was awesome. We got Curtis Axel's new favorite wrestler.
Believe it or not, folks, you can watch that interview on AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. I am the Hobo at True Hobo. Please tweet me. I am bored often, so please.
Literally, we talk a lot.
Uh-oh. Hey, well, some of you fans might know me from the Total Divas After Show. My name is Christy Olson, and the WWE fans are my favorite to tweet with, so please hit me up at Christy Report.
Yes.
They are the loudest.
And now we just wait for them to tell us things, right? We just,
Yeah, we don't have any notes.
we sit here in dead air and just
Yes,
wait.
pretty
I'm
much.
kidding.
We can play the song again.
We could play the
As
song.
if we haven't heard it enough already.
So the kickoff show. They have the panel. They've been doing WrestleMania Today live from Access the whole time, and I happen to have noticed that this kickoff show, when it first started, there were fireworks happening in the background because they were rehearsing Triple H's entrance.
Oh, is
that's
that
what that
it
Yes,
was.
they were rehearsing Triple H's entrance while the kickoff show was happening. Beautiful visual up there with everyone on the panel and then the entire empty Levi's Stadium behind them.
Yeah, not a soul in the
Whoa.
seats.
They stayed there the entire show. I was positioned relatively close to them. And they hung out and watched the show from there.
But they turned their chairs around.
Absolutely. Well, they aren't just going to look at a monitor. No, they stayed
You're going
up
to turn
there.
around and look.
They enjoyed it.
First segment on the kickoff show, Lana returns. I actually didn't catch this, but I was very happy to know Lana returns because beforehand we didn't actually know.
I saw it.
I mean, she kind of had to, didn't she?
Yeah, she was rocking her finest Dolly
Oh, man.
Parton
Oh, it was
1980s
WrestleMania.
rhinestone blazer. She was ready to work it.
And then the first match in the kickoff match is the Tag Team Championships. It's the Usos, the Los Matadores, the New Day, and the champions, Kid and Cesaro.
I was actually walking into Mania when that show happened, but Christy, you were kind of watching it live from home.
Yeah, I know you guys were all
Yes, we
glad
were
enough
there.
to be there
We were
live,
moving
but
around.
I was watching from home, which means that I didn't actually miss any of this pre-show kickoff stuff.
Yes.
And that match was fantastic to me. I was kind of just sitting there the whole time wondering why the heck it wasn't part of the main show.
We've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there were a couple matches because they had a lot of great matches early in this card that you're just like, well, why isn't this here? Why isn't this here? And then we get there and we realize, like, oh, they had someone who likes to run long.
Well, I
middle of
thought
the card.
this could have been included on the main show.
Yes,
Because
this-
they had a big old gap right in the middle of it that this could have filled in
And
nicely.
at 9 minutes, 58 seconds. It
Yeah.
definitely
Oh, yeah.
could have been on the main show.
And I didn't think that Kid and Cesaro would retain.
Really?
No.
Really didn't think
Really?
so. Of all the craziness that was going to happen in that match, and it got pretty wild.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd be able to retain.
You thought Usos would have won in their hometown?
Probably.
Yeah, I almost thought even with just the one of them that he was going to pull it out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
He still had Naomi there, and she worked it. I
She worked
always
it.
love to see her get her little, even if she just gets a little blurb, a little tiny bit of TV time, she always impresses.
You're all about giving the divas a chance, aren't
I
you?
did. I loved it. I mean, some of them. We'll get there.
them,
We'll get there.
And pretty nice match. A lot of stuff going on. Like a nice way to start. This is your entrance to what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. It's a great pre-show match. A great start of the match.
I was kind of surprised that we didn't see any high-flying action from Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
On that one, he didn't pull it out then, he didn't pull it out later. I love him, and I love to see him do the kind of acrobatic stuff. I don't know why everyone hates on New Day so much. I really like them, but of course, I didn't really expect them to pull out of that match.
Here, my prediction on New Day has always been that they're going to come out with this such a cookie cutter, we're such great guys, love us thing, and the crowd's eventually going to turn on them to the point.
They're going to eventually turn on him?
Yeah, but
eventually,
that
plan
implies that they were once liked.
I think the plan was for the crowd to eventually turn on them. What's happened is the crowd almost immediately turned on them.
Yeah.
And they're going to eventually all turn with the crowd. And be like, you guys don't like us? We go out here and we do this.
Evil.
You know what? We don't like you. We don't
they're
like
gonna
you and
be
anyone you like.
Evil
and then knowing
Baptist
them, they're going to start
ministers.
cheering him then.
Yes. Yeah, and
Which
then
the green wasn't really working for them either.
No.
They have to have that powder blue.
that powder blue should be the only color they wear. And
Just a newsflash, everyone, we're going to talk more about wardrobe on this episode.
it's
Of WrestleMania after
WrestleMania
show than they
is-
usually do, probably.
Dude, seriously,
'cause
though,
I'm there.
well, honestly, no joke. One of the things I always loved about Mania is some of those guys have new wardrobe. Like, they bring out the special wardrobe for WrestleMania. Ziggler had it.
Cody Rhodes has had it.
Yeah.
Even I've got my big match coat. I've got a coat I only pull out for the big matches.
So when do you wear this?
This one's kind of like the everyday,
Okay.
little
Okay.
bit, like the Friends, you know.
it's the
it
signing.
leaves. Yeah, I got one with lights. I got a couple more with lights.
How do you
Nice.
afford that?
Dang.
I make them all by hand.
that makes sense.
You think I bought this? No way, man. You can't buy
I don't
this.
think anyone sells that.
No way.
Kid and Cesaro over, and then we have the much anticipated Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Memorial Battle Royal. Sorry. There's an extra word in there.
I was kind of walking around and trying to get floor seats, which worked.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You'd be surprised what a make-believe badge can do. I mean, the badge was real, but it wasn't for whatever, floor, but whatever. Sorry.
You don't want to.
Sorry for all the
I love that
Levi's
you
doing
had the
that.
gusto to do that, though. That
Don't
you just went for
share
it.
trade secrets
Yeah, God.
here.
Now they know for
God's
next
sake.
year.
So, John
I'm surprised I
Gruden.
don't have it on,
Did
actually.
anybody see this
Actually,
John
yeah,
Gruden
yeah.
coverage of the Battle Royal? John Gruden, famous NFL head coach.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Who beat my Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship long ago.
Sorry.
He does a thing. He's a commentator on Monday Night Football. He also does I think a film room segment at ESPN, like NFL Today or NFL Tonight at ESPN, and he did that same segment just for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and gave like a lot of good insight,
They've been
including
getting a lot of coverage on ESPN
Yes.
the last week or two.
because they're in LA.
They're working it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's ESPN's a huge outlet, and there are so many wrestling crossovers at ESPN right now. They've really got to take advantage
Yeah, I
of
was
it.
thinking about it. Michelle Beadle, Bill Simmons, of course,
yeah.
Coach and Todd Grisham worked
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're real fans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Brock Lesnar was just dying to give Michelle that exclusive.
Oh, he was.
I love her.
But
there.
there.
Yeah, I was sitting right
Yeah,
behind
she
her
was
at Raw.
We were.
Really?
She was.
And she loved it. She
she
wasn't.
seems like a cool
She
chick.
wasn't one
really
of those
cool.
chicks that just sits there and just I like wrestling. No, she was into it. She
Yeah.
was chanting with everyone
Well,
else.
if you're in the front row, you better be getting into it.
And but John Gruden broke it down. One of the interesting facts that he mentioned that about Titus O'Neil is that when Titus O'Neil was a Gator, he actually sacked Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
We're thinking that's that kind of stuff that you'd think we'd know, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Some of these facts get lost, and it takes a real mind to find them and bring them to your attention.
A battle royal rules, so it's not a Royal Rumble. They don't come out one by one. They all come out, wait in the ring, and then they go. They go. Curtis Axel
The first to go.
I mean,
tears his shirt.
he took the opportunity to stand there for all of the people, thousands of people, and just tear that shirt as everyone behind him prepared to break him if possible. And
Everyone in the match got one elimination to start.
the crowd surfed
was-
him.
it was
I mean,
Curtis
they kind of
Axel.
were going one way, they came back the other way. Oh, it was just
It was
beyond
wonderful.
control.
Oh, I've been waiting for that shtick to be over for a long time, and I
What?
was kind of
What?
surprised
It's not
that
over.
they.
You are
I
not
was
an-
kind of surprised that they
You
let
are
it
not an
happen.
axomaniac.
No, I'm
That
not.
is his.
I know I should give it up for my hometown Minnesota boy, but I'm
That's
just
his
not
career.
into it.
Like
Well,
that's
just
gonna
into
be.
it.
I mean, Extreme
That's
Rules
it.
is
Is that what you mean?
coming.
That's it.
Well,
Extreme rules.
it's last week's Raw, but I will say, I'm not a big fan of Snoop Dogg throwing him over the top rope. He could have.
Have you seen that?
Snoop Dogg could have ducked, and then he could have flew over the top rope. But that's just me. Early on, everyone was really behind Hideo Itami, the NXT winner. Until he got eliminated by Big Show.
Yeah.
He earned his spot. He brought it to Big Show when he had the opportunity, and there were a lot of Itami chants. Even to my surprise, and I'm a guy who reviews NXT each week, it's hard to really understand how many people are watching NXT and who are taking in NXT until you're in that size of a crowd and they start chanting for Itami.
Because the number we learned this week is that I believe it's 1.6 million people are subscribed to the WWE network. So let's assume half of them watch NXT on a regular basis. That's a really big number for NXT, for a show not on a network. On commentary, people are talking about how the Big Show has not won the Royal Rumble, and he has never won a Battle Royal. There was an ECW versus Raw and SmackDown Battle Royal that he changed sides to ECW, and he won that, but... Yeah, you guys need a fact checker. I'm free.
Actually, Royal Rumble 2000, it was him and Rock as the last two.
Yeah,
and
but
the video shows the Rock's feet hit the floor
but
first.
he was not declared that winner. I won't give him that. But he won a Battle Royal.
I mean, I guess you can say the same about Austin, but...
He did win a Battle Royal.
Finally.
It was predictable. I mean, they couldn't give it to him last year because it was too obvious.
Yeah.
The first year and everything. And of
crowd-
course he needs to get it.
But I wanted Mizdow. It was this
we all wanted Mizdow.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea that, logically speaking, the Giant should win the Battle Royal. Like, every now and again, the Giant should just win.
Honestly, that makes the least sense.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. There's other than Curtis Axel, who everyone hated, he's out. You're really screwed. You got a giant target on you. What are you gonna do? Everybody's in the ring at once. They should instinctively, automatically go for the biggest guy in there and do everything they can to get him out.
They did. Curtis Axel.
I meant physically, not emotionally and egotistically.
Well, it even would have made more sense if Miz and Mizdow would have done it before having their little spot.
And then we get the Miz and Mizdow. We get the Miz and Mizdow of it all. Mizdow throws Miz out of the ring. We finally get... I was looking forward to a WrestleMania match here, of just the two of them, but not gonna happen.
I thought that's where it was going to.
I think they'll milk this a little bit.
They're definitely
longer.
milking this a little more.
But I think at Extreme Rules, I think they're gonna have a nice wrestling match.
That looks built up. That looks built up, right? That it's at Extreme Rules. Big Show over. Big Show becomes the second.
I like that he's posing with the trophy.
I also like that. No offense to Cesaro, but Cesaro won this last year, and he's in the match again. And then he was in the pre-show before that. That if you, let's say you have Big Show win it this year, and then Big Show defend it next year, and maybe he even wins next year, and the year after that, or maybe he's over that one time, you're actually building up this trophy to mean something with Big Show. That it's, no, this is Big Show's yard. And maybe if it's only this year, and then next year an NXT guy or somebody ready to take on that mantle actually eliminates the Big Show and wins the whole match. Like, it could mean something, and that's what I like about this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need that guy to be Ryback. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
I was expecting more from Cesaro after the fact.
Yes.
Because from where we were, we could see him down, and he was out of camera view at ringside, and I was just thinking he's gonna pop up and he's gonna either shake Big Show's hand or take a swing at him. It never came to fruition. And the reaction after this match from the crowd was mixed. I mean...
Well, a lot of boos for Big Show.
Well, a lot of boos, of course, because he's the authority and the storyline, but then everybody has to concede, he earned it. Yeah. He is the Giant. He won the Giant Battle Royale Memorial Cup. And
WrestleMania starts. WrestleMania hasn't even started yet, and you've seen easily 40 people come and go out of the ring, 2 matches. It's a pretty good kickoff show. You have LL Cool J with that really good, that promo got me hyped for everything.
He's the best hype man.
He's such a good hype man.
It's kind of his job.
A little bit.
I think he used to be a rapper.
Did he?
I don't really remember.
I heard his mama told him to knock you out once. I heard that. I'm not sure, but mama said knock you out.
Well, we start off with an intercontinental match.
I was gonna let that
Somebody
one.
got knocked out.
Champion, bad news, Barrett. Give me your best. I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
It's actually really good. It's actually
Not bad, right?
actually all right. It's good.
Bad news, Christy.
Yeah. I can go on that podium that raises up out of the ground. I'd love that.
We'll see.
Power trip.
We'll make
need that
we'll
more.
make it happen next time. But yeah, we have Bad News defending his title against Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, R-Truth, Stardust, Luke Harper.
I don't think this counts as necessarily a title defense, because even he has to fight to win it back, basically, because it's been taken from him and hung high above the ring, where anybody can have a shot at it. If he was defending it, they'd have to pin him, or he'd have to pin somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
The odds are not in his favor.
No.
I mean, we've seen some great Intercontinental Championship matches at WrestleMania. Do you guys think that this belongs in that same category?
No, I thought it
This
was a little
match?
bit lackluster.
What I enjoyed about this match is you have a big ladder match in this world where so many people get hurt for so many things, that to have a ladder match like this where the actual risky spots, there were very few of them. There were about 3. But that made them memorable, because if you go back to like the TLC days of like the Hardy Boys and like the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys and like those big crazy spot fest matches, like how many of those spots do you really remember? You remember like the huge ones, and then there were other little ones that probably could have hurt somebody that aren't there. So I like that they're more conservative, especially heading into the next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules.
And I liked how they were consistent with the big spots. Really,
Yes.
Ambrose got at least 2 out of 3 big ones.
The Ambrose spot.
Which cements him as being sort of the wild man. And as he has been, and now is certainly, and that ladder, the spot where Harper threw him through that ladder, I legitimately was concerned. I texted somebody I knew was backstage to ask about how he was
'cause
doing.
He didn't hit that ladder great. Like
No.
he hit that ladder off to the left.
It wasn't off to the left; it was down. So where it snapped was closer to his head, which caused his head to the back of his head to hit one of the rungs of the ladder, and I thought he may have busted open the back of his head and gotten a concussion. But fortunately, we saw him Monday night, and he was 100% okay, and I was very thankful for that.
Yeah, but he was the only kind of star in that match, I thought.
Well, he was
He was the standout.
my dark horse pick to win. Like obviously
You
Bryan.
could have picked a darker horse.
Fair enough. Well, nobody else struck me. Like he would be the one, and I was always hinging it on whether Lesnar was staying or going.
Yeah.
On that decision, where I was like, if you want to keep the title, if you want to build up the Intercontinental title, which heading into this match had some issues, you would probably want to put it on someone like Daniel Bryan and have him main event SmackDown for months. If you want to put it on somebody newer, and then have that make that person, it would be Dean Ambrose.
I would kind of like to see Stardust.
I would have loved to see Stardust.
Stardust would have been interesting.
Also, Stardust's entrance. We're talking about costumes,
Oh yeah.
costumes and fashion. Love that. Love that. Well, it's not Omega Red, right? Who's the Marvel character he was? dressed
Mr. Sinister.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I know I was incorrect with Omega Red. Don't-
I'm happy that Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose weren't wearing the same thing for once. Jesus.
Well, they're the same, similar but different at the same time.
Stardust had his own ladder.
Yes,
That was great. Never got to use it.
beautiful bejeweled glitter.
Wade Barrett got to use it.
Yeah.
Wade Barrett looked so strong in this match too.
He's
think
looked really good. as of late.
Everyone in this match received a bullhammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Darn near.
I'm gonna say everyone. I'm
At
just
least
gonna
half of
stick with
everyone. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously not including Wade Barrett.
Well,
You can't exactly lick your own elbow, so you can't give yourself an elbow
You're
to
right.
the head.
Everyone not Wade
but
Barrett.
he's never looked better. And sometimes when these guys come back from a little bit of time off, you can tell.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Randy Orton didn't quite look his best when he came back recently. Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett doesn't look like he missed out on
Not at all.
I've
one gym session.
I've had the same shoulder injury that he has had, and I'll tell you, you can't lift heavy weights after receiving a separated shoulder. You just can't. So what I think he did was go the opposite direction. He lost all of the body fat and just looks as shredded as humanly possible. He's not very big, but he's lean and he's mean.
And he's tall. He's really
tall,
I met him Friday morning. He was really tall.
Yeah.
There's a picture on my Twitter at Steve Kauffman. And you can see I'm 6'1", and you could see he towers over me.
Oh, I love it.
Him and Mizdow both just, what? These guys are tall. And we get Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, top of the ladder, headbutt.
That was pretty
Dueling
cool.
headbutts. They're both just headbutting each other. Both of these men want the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler eventually falls. Daniel Bryan, 70,000 people, maybe a little less because not everyone made it in yet, all chanting yes. Love this guy. Love that he has the
It
Intercontinental
was kind of
Championship.
cool just being on the floor, just looking up and just seeing everybody just chanting yes.
He's
That's always a
got
cool
the
visual.
entire arena in the palm of his hand. I can only hope to experience what that feels like someday myself.
I'm always so surprised by how much love he gets because he just is that guy that the cynical wrestling fans you think would just love to hate. And I'm always so shocked. Every Raw, every SmackDown, when everyone comes out and loves it and does the thing, I just kind of think.
Well, I think the argument is that he earns it. The argument's that he's earned it. Like I happen to have seen him in way smaller arenas than Levi's Stadium. Like he's clearly built himself to that level.
Yeah.
The most cynical
Respect.
wrestling fans have probably seen him in person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes them much less cynical. If they knew you before, they'll go, that was my guy. That was my guy before he was even the guy. So they'll cheer for him.
I saw him in a National Guard armory in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Do you have any pictures next to him? Because he's like 5'6", right?
I don't have any pictures.
I've
of him, but
interviewed
he
him
is,
on the red
Actually, I
carpet
think
in my
he's
heels and been
about
towering
my
over him.
height.
So
He's about 5
He's-
foot 8-ish.
Yeah.
10-ish, depending on what website you're looking at.
depending on
Well,
which
choose
ring
the little
announcer.
guy.
Seth Rollins, Randy Orton.
I love this match.
Me too.
This was really good.
This was going to be my pick for match of the night.
Oh,
Like
okay.
heading into the night, this was going to be my pick for match of the night because it had everything. They show us a video package that dates back to the beginning of Randy Orton, the beginning of Seth Rollins. Really gives us a feel for almost that one is a younger version of the other.
Exactly. And that's what wrestling is about right there. You've now just seen the entire arc of Randy Orton's career.
Yeah.
All that he was and all that he is now and all the time in between to where he became who he is and sort of attempting to stop himself. What he was then. He's time traveling the wrestling match.
Gotta go back, Marty.
And he's still relatively young. He's only like 35. I think he just turned
he's
35.
Well, because he was so young when he started.
Yeah.
He was
Youngest champion of
He
all
was a
time.
literal baby face when he
Literal.
started. I love when they show that footage of him because he looks like he's 12. and no tattoos, and it's good to be reminded.
But they show that package. Orton comes out, red tights to fit the WrestleMania logo, and then Rollins with the black and gold. I believe he had black and gold.
Yeah.
Which I've said this joke before, but this is the WrestleMania after show. If you were to have shown me a picture of Seth Rollins in 1999, or if you had shown me a picture of now of Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, but you showed it to me in 1999, I'd still believe so that's how we're all dressing in 2015. Is that the uniform? Is that because that looks like the futuristic?
Another time traveling reference.
I think there would be 3 more.
I wish I could remember what Jon Stewart called him now.
Oh, that's gonna torture me.
Yeah, we'll have to Google it. Tweet me, everybody.
Tweet at us. We'll get it.
It was genius.
Mr. Money in the Bank. They have a really good back and forth. Just a nice. They have.
They had a
how
good
long did-
wresling match.
They had
Had
13
good
minutes, 15
psychology,
seconds to
good
tell the
wrestling
story.
match, back
Yeah.
and forth, Not too heavy on the spot fest, but it was just a good match.
Really good match, and we get the RKO everyone's talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
The second best RKO Randy Orton has ever done.
Evan Bourne.
Evan Bourne.
Yeah.
Gotta be the
Yeah.
Evan Bourne. If you guys have not seen the Evan Bourne, someone tweet a gif at me and I'll tweet it back at everyone else.
Actually, I think this required more skill than the Evan Bourne. Granted, Evan Bourne had a lot of timing, but
Yeah.
not only did Randy Orton require precision timing, he had to push another man off of his back and then onto his feet to grab his head. And actually, he even had to turn around to do it.
Yeah. I might rank this one a little bit higher than Evan Bourne.
I'm just gonna stick with the Evan Bourne one. And
Sure.
maybe I need to see it again, but
Yeah.
but there was just such an incredible amount of time into the Evan Bourne RKO. They're both amazing RKO. That man has done thousands of RKOs, and we're talking about the best 2.
Yeah, probably.
And he did one of them
I don't
in
know,
front
man.
of us.
The one against the soccer player was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
What was his name?
No,
German dude?
Well,
Something like
because
that.
you type in RKO out of nowhere, it's going to be. Apparently, RKO is a bunch of
Oh,
strangers.
you're talking
too.
about the Vine. You're talking about the Vines where he's
Oh.
RKOing everyone ever. Mainly soccer players, because soccer players like to
Yeah,
just
or
flop,
that dancing
flop
with
forward
They
like
can
that.
do it. They can
That
handle it.
dancer too.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
brutal. But yeah, this I
But
thought
this was real. This happened.
This is
You
an
were
actual.
there.
I was there.
out of 2 matches so far, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins was my favorite so far.
Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
How about out of 4?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
talk to me after the 4th match we cover.
Yeah. Great match. Randy Orton, good guy.
Yeah. I mean, it was
I like this.
sort of
Yeah.
inevitable. He doesn't change his style so much, but it's one of those things. In comparison to somebody else, you have to like him more. You have to like him more than Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins sort of is a monstrous coward. And you can't possibly cheer for him. It's impossible. So you have to like Randy Orton, because you want Randy Orton to kick Seth Rollins' ass for you.
Hard.
Yes. And that happened, and they mentioned it at the top of the match when introducing Seth Rollins as Mr. Money in the Bank. Who knows you guys, the main event tonight, he may cash in, which they say every night.
Of course.
So you don't ever think, oh, that might be this, it might be that. It's whatever. We later learn, I don't think anyone listening to me is going to be spoiled by saying he does. He does, and not all of us saw it coming.
And now he can finally stop carrying that damn thing around.
I know,
And then
right?
he's carrying another piece of gold, which I'm
By the
sure,
way-
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure he's fine.
By the
with
way,
that.
I was at Fan Access the entire time, and they have that giant the WWE Mega Store, the WrestleMania Mega Store.
Did you buy a suitcase?
I did not, because I couldn't. They would have them at the beginning of every session, and they'd sell out in
wow.
they'd sell out because they'd only have like 15 or 20.
How much do those things cost?
Under 300, I want to say.
Jesus.
Oh my god, though! Oh my god!
I've held them. They're actual briefcases, though.
So I can
Well,
actually
yeah.
carry
They're
around.
just
like,
expensive briefcases. They also had a replica Slammy.
oh, I
that-
saw
that I
that.
was-
That's all.
That I was so delirious by the end, I was holding in my hand, and I was thinking,
That thing is actually kind of heavy.
if I was holding in my hand, and that was my first thought. My second thought was, if this is under $200, I'm gonna buy it.
Yes.
And I just remember thinking, like, you should put this down before you realize how much it costs, because if it's under $200, you're leaving with it, and you don't have $200 to spend on Slammies.
We call that an impulse buy
Yeah, that
in
would
girl
be
world.
really expensive impulse buy.
And it's always followed by buyer's remorse.
Oh yes.
And there was a big sign that said no returns. So,
I'm sure. Some San Francisco businessman is carrying his documents to work in his high-rise in a Money in the Bank briefcase
You
this
could
week
probably get those in Chinatown.
for like
And then just
25
put
bucks.
Yeah, just I got my
Just
money
right
bank
on
briefcase
a gold
in
briefcase and
Chinatown.
then put the logo on it.
Yeah.
Either or. We don't have a promo code there yet, so yeah, Chinatown. Sting, Triple H. This was billed as one of the main events of the night. We're getting it in at the top of the first hour. Perfect placement for it.
Yep.
The drummers. Sting has drummers.
I think they should have had the little orchestra from the video game. Remember when they first announced Sting in the video game and they had the kids with the violins?
I'm okay
Hell
with
yeah.
that.
They should have had that as the entrance.
That's fun.
I'm not really a big fan of his new theme song. It was still cool, don't get me wrong, but
The drummers, the first thing I thought when I saw those drummers is like, I don't think they know who they have.
Right.
that would
they
have been a
don't-
cool like Hideo Itami entrance for me.
Yeah,
or
like that.
something.
Like Hideo Itami, if he fights for a title next year, like that would fit. Like, oh, like Japanese style
Right.
drummers. I love this, but like Sting him, and then he comes out and he's both the reserved. He's both the reserved, cool, calm, cool, collected. If you want to call him the Crow Sting, or the Black and White Sting, and then every now and again he gets crazy and he's like that old school surfer Sting, and like I'm just confused which. Like I don't think they knew which direction they wanted to go, and Michael Cole said, "This isn't Starrcade, this is WrestleMania." That was said. That happened, and we actually learned.
Well, he learned his lesson, didn't he? He got what was coming to him.
And what I couldn't help but notice was Monday morning there was a conference call, and Vince McMahon even said, like, yeah, we kind of like he said something to the effect of like we plucked Sting from obscurity. I'm almost sure that's a direct quote of like we plucked Sting from obscurity, and I'm like,
That's some ballsy stuff
Yeah,
to say.
he was Sting.
Michael
he
Cole
is Sting.
said at one point, well, Sting hasn't wrestled in years. And Ric
No.
Flair turned to him and said, yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Booker T was there.
It's this magical place none of us talk about.
that's funny. But can I say, I don't know if I'm in the minority. I love Triple H's entrance.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I loved it. I know he always comes out kind of cheesy entrances with the Conan, and I love all of them. The Conan last year with the chair.
He
and
had the
everything.
chicks last year, right?
The year
All the NXT
even the-
divas, very
yeah,
talented ladies.
even in the simpler,
Do
I
you take
remember.
offense by me referring to them as chicks?
I refer to
When they're dressed like that, like they were then, they're chicks.
No. I don't get offended by chicks, but divas to me is an offensive term.
We'll get there.
Yes,
We will
please.
get there. I remember WrestleMania 25 long ago. Like even the simple thing where it was him and Randy Orton. The simple thing, like he walked in with the sledgehammer and then he just like hit the sledgehammer and he hit the sledgehammer through a pane of glass that was in between him and the ring. Like even his simplistic entrances, which we'll get the people who are known for their entrances and what they did at WrestleMania. We'll get to that a little later. But I really enjoyed this Triple H entrance. It was actually widely reported in the business world that this was going to happen because it was synergy between.
Absolutely, it's the
Arnold
biggest
and-
commercial that you didn't know was a commercial.
Yeah, and Arnold himself was like, it's time to play the game.
Get to the chopper, which he said at that Hall of Fame. But
He did.
I thought it was a great match as well. I
Yeah.
mean, even before the interference, which I thought was fine with. Like I thought it was a great match, going back and forth, and then out of nowhere I hear DX is the song, and then
Oh, man.
you
So
have
cool.
Real quick on the entrance, did anyone else think of the RoboCop reference?
Oh, of
Yes.
course, I
Like-
literally said it in my chair. Oh, it's RoboCop!
RoboCop, which for those of you who don't know, it's probably available on the WWE network.
If you can find
WCW,
it, it's a
It was probably on a Nitro.
It's like my favorite movie as a child.
but are you aware that RoboCop actually came on to Nitro?
and helped
It was like
Sting.
a
And helped
WCW.
Sting win a
that I
match.
don't remember.
I will
Freed
send you a
Sting
link.
from a cage.
It was like a WCW pay per view.
Yeah.
and then
But it was all full circle because this was also a commercial for a movie
Yeah.
that looked like a commercial for a movie that happened in wrestling way earlier. That said, this was done way better. I'm not hating.
This was good.
I liked it.
And all of the extras on stage were NXT guys.
Were they?
Yeah,
Good to
they
know.
showed them backstage. They were all unmasked.
Good
All
for
of
them.
NXT guys.
It was
That's
like
how it
Solomon
should be.
Crow, Enzo
More
Amore.
synergy.
Ooh, real? it was
Yeah.
people we know.
They had a picture of like all the
I
guys.
think it was
like,
Buddy and Murphy, or Buddy Murphy and
that's awesome.
and friggin' his tag team
Wesley
partner
Blake.
Wesley Blake. Thank you.
There it is. And I watched it again tonight. I watched it again today on the network, and I noticed they had cut one of the few things I didn't like about the entrance, which was when he took his vest off. You saw people help him take the vest off, and then him bend down and pick up those skulls. WWE Network, really good job recutting this for future watches. They cut to a crowd, then they come back, and he's already holding those skulls. Problem fixed. Loved it. Whatchamacallit. Really good match, even before DX came in. My issue going in was that they're not treating Sting like an equal. They're not treating Sting like he's equal to Triple H.
Well, this is Triple H's company,
Yeah,
so automatically he's not.
fair.
He
That's a fair
actually
point.
is fighting an uphill battle because he is absolutely 100% untested in these waters.
That is fair. That is fair. It was DX comes out. Not gonna lie, I mark out.
I mean, it was
I mark out really hard.
it was Outlaws and X-Pac.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are missing 2, possibly 3 members that
Depending on
we
how you
won't.
look at it.
That we won't.
I really didn't see this coming.
No,
I
No.
didn't at all because of Sting's promo the Monday Raw before WrestleMania. He said this isn't even about WCW
Yeah.
versus WWE. So when this happened, I was like, oh my god, it really is.
And it really is. DX comes out, helps. Still a 2 count.
I did mark out when the NWO came out.
Oh, and then
Because I thought it was going to be Hall & Nash, but when I saw Hogan there,
Oh,
I'm
man.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this is it. This is awesome.
Hogan running in on a WrestleMania main event. Pretty much, it was one of the 3 main events.
With you guys being there, can you speak to the crowd reaction when
Oh,
all
the
that
crowd
went
was
down?
with us.
Was
The
it?
crowd was
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 just
that one of the
insane.
biggest reactions of the evening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
what I figured.
freaking out hard because I feel that they looked at each other in the back before this match while they were trying to figure out what to do and said, should we just do it all? Should we just go
Yeah.
100%? Because everybody's got to be there. Let's just do it all, everybody.
And we even get a good moment before the NWO makes it to the ring and fights through DX. Because, it's a long stage. You have the time to, who will the NWO side with? Because that's
Yeah.
a really good point.
Right.
Because NWO was at odds with Sting, more than they were ever with Sting. So if it's not about WCW, WWE, there's a good chance that it's just going to be 7 people against Sting.
But there's a camaraderie.
Yes.
Even against your worst enemy, you have to side with them because they're so familiar to you. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
Therefore, Sting and the NWO are one group, at least for one night only.
Yes.
And that's what fans want.
Yeah,
Love
especially,
that.
I mean, and maybe it's a little late about it, but hey, we got to see DX versus NWO at WrestleMania. You know,
Yeah.
We got to see that. And here's a question I'm posing to everyone. Do we build this up to Survivor Series?
I want to say yes, but I mean, I don't think you can.
No,
for obvious
no.
reasons.
You
This
don't,
was
think,
good.
you don't think these guys can handle it? Or
Yeah.
well,
think
a
they
5-on-5,
No.
they wouldn't. Those guys wouldn't necessarily have to. So if
they wouldn't have to do much.
yeah, like they wouldn't have to be take as much physicality because they'd be 5-on-5, and then they could. If it's let's say you have 3 guys versus 3 guys, and then there's 2 spots that they pick with the current roster.
Oh, yeah.
I would like that. It's something you can build towards. It's in Boston.
There's a rule in wrestling. The less you do, the less you can overexpose yourself. The more we do with this, the more they're going to look like old men, and everyone will become sad.
That's
For
fair.
one night only, they
you
were
might be right about
basically
that.
who they were then.
Yes.
And we will never lose that if we don't do anything with it. If
So
we just let it
Good
be.
point.
So you're saying it's going to happen?
I'm saying you don't touch up a Rembrandt. Just let it be.
It happens.
Yeah, they're so good at just leaving well enough alone.
And then
So-
Well, there's
NWO
that.
levels out the playing field, and then out of nowhere, Mr. HBK, Mr. WrestleMania himself.
Before this.
Before this.
Before this, we get what we've been teasing towards all along: Bat versus Sledgehammer. What will win? We initially think Bat because the
Right.
Bat broke the Sledgehammer in half. But apparently that you still leave the Sledgehammer part.
So when you think about it, there's a really big ass hunk of metal at the end of this rock.
There's still a
It's
Sledgehammer.
still a sledgehammer, just not as big.
Right, you can still just go, pop, and he's out.
Realistically, you just gave him a bat and a sledgehammer
Yeah.
by breaking it in half.
I guess, well, like maybe a nightstick.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a bat. A bat, you need both hands. Well, we're just getting into semantics at this point. We're
Shawn
splitting
Michaels
hairs.
out, who has both been a member of D-Generation X and the NWO. Not in WCW, obviously,
yeah.
but an incarnation of the NWO, Shawn Michaels has been a part of, and the early incarnation of D-Generation X and the later one. And he comes out, sides with Triple H, super kicks Sting, and in my heart of hearts, I was like, Ric Flair's there. Ric Flair would be the next escalation of this ladder. Ric Flair has had the most storied history that Sting has with anyone. Ric Flair's right there. Can we do this? And then we can end how we end, but can we escalate to the 4th part?
I think Ric Flair was several highballs in at this point in the day. He was probably unavailable.
But he could have been. He could have been available. That was my hope.
Yeah, I was expecting that too.
We did not get that, and we got Triple H over.
But it ended how it should have ended.
Yes.
It didn't end with the super kick. In my head, I'm going, it can't end like this. It can't end with the
Yes.
group interference. It has to be these two. One of these men has to do something definite that finishes his opponent, or else it's all for naught and it doesn't matter and we're going to have it again. No, Triple H won. Barely.
Yes.
But he won.
He had to be carried out. Also, did anyone else notice the bruise?
How could you not?
Triple H
oh my
had this
gosh.
because I watched it back today. Triple H walked out. He did not have a bruise. It looked like, I believe it was his right thigh up to the buttock. And when he walked out, he did not have that. And within like 2 minutes of the match, he had that. And everyone online is speculating that it was that first time he got thrown out of the ring, he landed wrong and pulled something. Because
Well,
like
no,
a lot
you don't pull something to get a bruise. You tear something.
Thank you. Yes. But that's what I've been hearing is that he tore something. And he had to be in a suit
looks
like 2
so-
segments later.
He looked good though. I mean, I don't think that's it. It was probably something else.
Yeah.
So just a black mark of some kind.
I think Sting looked good. I mean, I
Sting
was a
looked
little
great.
worried how he would look Yes, he was been wrestling in that other organization, but he still looked good. You know, I think he definitely held his own. I don't think it was Triple H carrying him. I don't think it was the other way around. I think they both looked really good.
Absolutely. He's had an opportunity to train, get in good shape.
Yeah.
And I always know how old these guys are, but then when you see them go out and do all this stuff, I'm like, no, there's no way he's that old. Let me Google this again. No, it can't be. Like, just mad respect.
And then it becomes a big group on group. They're both picking up their guy, standing off. Triple H eventually goes in for a handshake. Question to the panel. Would you shake Triple H's hand after he just hit you in the face with a sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because you gotta give it to him. Sting didn't see it coming. He really didn't. It was one of those things, if you were just the smarter man today, if it was any other day of the week, you may not have walked away with this win.
I really thought he was going to take Triple H down, take that last final opportunity and just smash him into the mat one time and then walk away. And I was kind of flabbergasted that he didn't actually. But it was a nice moment. It was a nice wrap up to the nostalgia and the whole thing. But it seemed very book-endy.
What flabbergasted me was the following night. Sting comes out at the end of Raw. The last thing the crowd could cheer for at Raw, because we were not having that main event. But this isn't the Raw after show. We won't get into it, but we were not having that main event. Sting comes out and he said, and they're like, "What's next for Sting?" And he pretty much says, like just very business talky. Whatever the next opportunity is, like if they give me another opportunity, I'll take it. But if they don't, that's on them. Where like I wanted to hear him say, "No, I'm here for good." Even I'm always up there. I'm Sting, I'm the vigilante, and if somebody crosses the line, I'll always be watching. Because that leaves the door wide open that he can just show up and like, oh, Miz is out of line, and then he just comes down and fixes it. And like every now and again he can do that. And
Randy Orton needs a hand. Here I am.
Randy Orton's like four on Randy Orton. Let's go help.
Yeah.
Like I would love for that to be his angle, but we don't know what they want to do with him moving forward. We all chanted Undertaker at him, but he didn't.
Here's the thing about wrestling. Nothing is ever set in stone, ever. Ever. So, he can't commit. I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure they've said, here's the direction we would like to go. But let's see what happens when we get there. Things can change. Always, always.
I agree. This match, I believe the longest match of the night. Give me 1 second.
Maybe they weren't expecting him to survive.
Yes, longest match of the night.
Cool.
And yeah.
For all the chaos that ensued, yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like you had a lot of people in there, that caliber. Longest match of the night, not by much either. Maria Menounos, we heard of this person? Do we know?
She owns AFTERBUZZ.
Oh.
Yeah. She's that cute girl on TV.
Oh.
She's kind of our boss.
Oh.
That Maria Menounos.
Oh, I know who that is.
You've been saying her name wrong this whole time, haven't you?
She was backstage with the Intercontinental Champion, Daniel Bryan. Hey, Daniel Bryan, how do you feel? Doesn't get a chance to answer because Pat Patterson, the first Intercontinental Champion, shows up. Followed by Piper, very famous Intercontinental Champion. Followed by Ricky Steamboat, dressed in ring gear, ready to go.
Such a fun moment.
Was there a match we missed? I didn't see that.
You always have to bring your gear. Always.
Followed by Flair in a suit, who did not look like he was. You said 6 8 balls. It looked more like 4. Like he was early.
He's well tempered. That was his 6 to 8.
And then followed by the best there was, best there is, best there ever will be, Bret Hart, saying, "I can think of no one better to hold this title and give prestige to this title." And then everyone just chants, "Yes, yes, yes." Ron Farouk Simmons comes in, and Maria very politely asks him, "Were you ever an Intercontinental Champion?" Leading for the very big damn. That was a great segment. Really.
He did wrestle for the Intercontinental Champion a few times. So
yeah. He never
should count for something.
He wrestled for it.
Yeah. He was in the tournament finals against Owen Hart at Bad Blood 2000 or at Bad Blood 97.
This guy knows his stuff.
That was a hot minute ago.
St. Louis, Missouri.
I have trivia for George. We do user submitted trivia.
Right?
You got to stump George. So heading into the world title match, I'll have trivia for George. Don't let me forget it.
I'm sure maybe the next match was your favorite match. Bella's against the best friends.
She was Skylar Gray and Kid Ink. Was that her favorite?
Yeah.
Lord. I was looking at the tweets during that. I don't know if you guys were up on Twitter as much since you were there live, but people were just hating it.
A little bit.
They just thought that it came at a bad time. And it was. The momentum was so like boom, 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 boom. We were chugging along. We're going up the mountain. And then all of a sudden, Skylar Gray comes out in a hoodie and, we're stalled on the mountain.
No, you need that down.
Yeah.
You need
You
that
think
down.
so?
That was
4-hour
there
show?
for an absolute reason. You have to have the arcs, the highs and the lows. You can't
patty
go
break?
from a high. Exactly. That's exactly what this was.
also-
Everybody got up and left. But I thought it was good.
Also, if you look at the
Thought it was
rundown,
good. I thought it was
if you
good.
look at the rundown, the Divas match comes after this. Whereas if you put this in front of the Divas match, people would use this break that's much needed. We're an hour and a half into a show. People would use the Divas match to do that, and that's not what you want.
That's true.
The Divas match brought it up a little. So you had the musical interlude, and then the Divas match, which built it back up a little bit. If you did it women's match, which is a down, and then musical interlude, which is a further down, you have further up to go.
Yes.
So you need
And they
they did a nice little
Pacing
thing.
wise, they do a very good job because we get a Divas match, and hashtag give Divas a chance.
Did you like this match?
I did, yeah. But I always like when Nikki Bella gets in the ring with Paige and AJ.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Why Nikki? What is she your favorite?
No, I like a lot of them. I always have a hard time picking a favorite.
There's only two of them.
Oh, you mean out of Nikki and Brie?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes.
meant the twins.
Yes, Brie was the low point of the match for me, as she is oftentimes. As a
Brie.
person, I like her very much. Please don't be mad at me, Brie. But she just can't do anything. She can't do anything.
She's
And
the one who can actually do things.
You think
Nikki
so?
is
I think
she's a
I
better
think of
wrestler.
Nikki as the one who can
No,
actually
she
do
is
things.
not the talent heavyweight.
It's funny because I think that Brie's more technical because she did Daniel Bryan, and Nikki does a lot of power moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I just always thought that. I don't know if anyone else noticed that too.
Oh no, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And there's an absolute
That's
good reason
there's
for
an
it.
absolute difference.
Basically,
They're absolutely different people, and I appreciate that.
I think
because-
they're both pretty good. I do get what you're. I think Nikki is a great, actually, a much underrated performer.
Agreed.
I think Brie's good as well though.
Well, and I think Brie just looks so. Nikki looks so strong
Yeah.
next to Brie, and everything that Brie does just looks a little bit like half-assed to me.
Guys, it's a
just
trap.
little
Don't
bit.
don't do it. It's a trap. Don't do it.
I'm really surprised that you guys don't agree. I expected you guys to be like, oh yeah, Brie can't do anything.
No,
No, we like her.
Okay.
I mean, basically, your significant other is your training partner. So if Nikki
Right.
Bella's training with John Cena, they're going to work on a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of power moves. And if Brie Bella is working with Daniel Bryan, she's going to work on her craft more than anything else. So yeah, you're looking at sort of extensions of the two
'Cause I think-
larger
and-
But I
personalities.
do kind
so
of
to
hate that
speak.
we just have to equate these divas with who they're with romantically.
No, we don't have to because AJ
Well,
Lee
no,
is
but
clearly with no
right,
one
and
ever.
you're
to win.
and you're
Yeah.
and you're correct. And when I see these ladies, I think, well, Nikki Bella's obviously lifting with John Cena, and I don't know.
Because I do see, not too often, but I do see Brie busting out these like Japanese moves, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I wonder who she picked that from, or what she was watching with someone to pick up that move, you know? And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
This
Well,
match.
she doesn't impress me so much, but it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
And but I don't know the fact that they keep putting this AJ and Paige thing together. I like that you can tell that AJ Lee actually likes Paige,
Yeah.
as a person,
Yeah.
and that AJ actually respects Paige, and she just seems to not have a lot of respect for most of the divas. So it always is a nice moment between the two of them, and it was clear that it meant a lot to Paige to be out there. And I like when someone
Paige's first WrestleMania.
acknowledges, and I like when they acknowledge and they can appreciate the opportunity that they're getting there.
And this match, 6 minutes 42.
Yeah.
It was
I'd
too
say-
short.
It was
It's
too short.
WrestleMania.
I
Damn it.
also like my only note from these chairs don't have armchairs, or these I don't have an armchair to book from. But I would say you could flop this match.
I think I'm the only guy who gets that joke.
Thank you. I would flop this match with the Monday night match from the title match because they got about 20 minutes there. Got to tell a great
from
story.
Raw.
Yes, from
Yeah.
Raw, that title match. I always think the title should be on the line, makes the stakes.
I agree. It seems silly.
That said,
Like, why
and-
are they even out there? Why are we wasting time with this?
What I do like is what we learned and we'll move forward quickly, but what we learned the next night was Naomi, she's finally stepping up. She should be fighting for the title in Extreme Rules, and we should get the AJ Page blow off from the number one contender. And you're giving Divas 2 spots on the card. That's what I want to see.
I love that.
That's what
love
I
that.
want to see.
And I have been waiting for Naomi to get her chance at the title
Yes.
for a long time, and it is well deserved.
And speaking of
It
as a
is
member of that
time.
crowd, I'm sorry. that was not our finest hour.
Y'all done took some liberties.
What was going on, boys?
With that said,
Don't wanna know.
one thing.
We can't even say it, actually. We can't even say it on the show.
One thing that I don't think was on TV, I think it was during the commercial break, and I hope this continues, is that the crowd started chanting CM Punk. And then everybody started booing.
no, we
Yeah,
didn't see
and
that
everybody
on
started
the
down.
show.
Yes.
Everyone
Everybody
booed it down
started
and started
booing.
chanting
And
for
they
AJ.
started chanting AJ Lee.
Like, she's in the ring, let's start
Yeah.
chanting for her instead
I thought
of...
that was
We
awesome.
at home did not
I
see
think
that,
that's
and I
because-
actually said to myself, "Oh, crazy that they didn't do the CM
Well,
Punk chant at WrestleMania."
What's funny is we made a decision with one person, so let's not define this person by who they're with. But the other three, we were like,
Yeah,
nope,
right.
nope.
I did like
No.
AJ's shirt on Raw. I love it.
I love
Oh,
it.
dude, Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey.
Totally.
Speaking
I was
as
hoping that she was going to come out on Raw, though.
I kind of thought that she was going to.
they all
for sure,
can't come
yeah.
out on Raw, guys. They all can't come out on the Raw
Not
after
all the
Mania.
NXT guys. Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah,
the
they only have 4 minutes or whatever it is. They all get
the Hall of Fame. Although you were at the red carpet for the Hall of Fame.
No, but Brandon Taylor was. We speak quite a
Oh,
bit.
sorry. You
No,
guys
no.
look very similar. I apologize.
Kind of hear that a lot. Sometimes we're never in the same room at the same time,
Got
though,
it.
so we can't ever get the side-by-side comparison.
And we get here at WrestleMania, we get the lineup that
Yep.
we've been doing this the past 5 years, I think.
Yeah, it's classy.
It's classy. It's nice. Raise your hand if the counter stuff doesn't make you cry.
Oh my God! So
No
I
one.
can't.
You
And I'm not
can't.
even a crier, and I hate it when the women
Me
get
either.
like, "Oh, with the
Me
poor
either, but
children." No, I
that
hate that,
kills
and I
me.
can't do
it
it.
was the worst. Mark and Brandon were at the Hall of Fame, sitting through it, and there were three different speeches for Connor. Three.
I know.
Everyone was crying,
Mm-hmm.
and then they left. They bought a bracelet and left because what are you going to do after that level
yeah.
of depression?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, that's it.
Yep.
The little
do you-
brother. I mean,
Oh, the little brother.
Everything.
Oh, my
I
God.
love you,
The
Connor.
little
Oh,
brother.
that's it, everybody.
All right. I'm
Can we go to
gonna
the next match? I
We
can't.
gotta
I'm gonna
grab
throw out
our
a joke.
tissues.
Kevin Nash gets to headline, if you will, the Hall of Fame panel, not because he's the most worthy. It's just Randy Savage is no longer with us.
Right.
Or he would have obviously been the headliner of this dais. I'll call it a dais. The only question is, does that mean Kane gets to go into the real Hall of Fame? I get one joke. I'm trying to up us. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Just that's all I get. John Cena, Rusev.
Oh, wait a second. Well, I just wanted to ask you guys about this. Oh, while we're on this Hall of Fame thing, what was with the rumors that Eva Marie was going to host?
I think that's.
Did you
I
guys hear
think
about that?
was just
It was
a
all. It was
rumor.
like it was
I
like
kept hearing there was
a rumor on the internet, and then it was crazy. It was huge on Twitter.
You believe something you really
remember
know?
No, but I was wondering who put it out there and why. And was it the WWE? And were they testing the waters to see how people
Well,
would react?
Friday-
Was it Eva's people? For she's
Yeah.
genius at publicity.
She
was
has
it her?
She has a terrible reputation
Yes.
as knowing nothing and no one. So I think this was a joke that got really, really far.
just
Look,
got
if
out
you
of
were
hand.
to do anything,
Which-
Renee Young would have been perfect for that role.
she-
If they wanted to
That
replace
was a
her.
lot of the
Fantastic.
reaction that
Yeah.
people
Which
had
we're
to
hearing,
Eva
we're
being
hearing Renee
announced.
Young's getting her own studio show
God, I love
on the
her.
network.
She-
Yeah, she's part of this
yeah.
slate.
I
Good
saw
for you,
her-
Renee
I saw
Young.
her in
We
person, and she is gorgeous.
We'd love to have you.
Dean
I
Ambrose
Please,
is so
I
good.
come
can't.
on.
I can't with the Renee Young stuff. I can't. I want her job too much to
Oh,
like her.
okay, that's why.
And do not give her more time. Go to ESPN already, Renee. Okay, and leave that spot open for somebody else.
I'm pretty
All
sure
right?
she's staying. Pretty sure they backed up a Brinks truck for her.
Really? That is not what I wanted to hear. Go to
Rusev,
ESPN.
Rusev, John Cena, Rusev, dominant United States
I
champion.
loved Rusev's entrance.
Entrance of the
Yeah.
night, baby.
Entrance of the night so far.
The
I
biggest entrance
loved
wins, and he had the biggest, and he won.
He
I
had
loved it. Very Rocky Four-ish.
very
Yeah,
Rocky Force.
absolutely.
I will say there were a lot. Speaking from the actual arena, there were a lot of cheers for Rusev. Not because
I didn't
necessarily
hear that too much.
I heard a lot of cheers for Rusev, mainly because we loved this entrance. This entrance is awesome. He came out on a tank
I saw that.
with a color guard.
I
That's
saw that
putting
when they
some money
uncovered
in.
it, and
Yeah.
just was like, tank,
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 tank, everybody.
tank.
We gonna panic?
I'm marking out, guys. I can't take it.
Even
It
like
wasn't
with,
marking out. It was. There's a freaking tank in the arena. Are we gonna die? Are they really taking over right now?
So
even Lana coming out with the belt, like she's a queen of the world, with the thing, with the
So
crown,
stunning.
with
And
the flat
absolutely.
soldiers in the back.
And this
That
is
was
what we
awesome.
She's
and this is
so
what we heard from
good.
Lana earlier in the night, which was that she was barred from ringside by Rusev until she pleaded with Rusev, and what she pleaded to say to Rusev was, "If you grant me this honor, I will never show compassion again." That is my favorite quote
Amen,
of the
girl.
night.
That's very Russian.
Incredibly
That's
Russian.
how they show love.
So
It's through lack of compassion.
So Rusev,
They're warm people.
dominant United States champion, has not lost a match like pinfall or submission in a whole year, his entire time in the WWE. He comes out on a tank with a color guard and Lana in a mink
cannons.
coat.
That
Cannons.
mink was something else, man.
He had
She look good.
John Cena gets a video package. And I'm like, oh, this video package is dealing us into like the biggest John Cena WrestleMania entrance we've ever seen, because John Cena always does incredible, big, massive WrestleMania entrances. This video package, quick note, people were booing Obama. I did not like that.
Oh,
Oh, what are you gonna do?
There's 76,000 people in a room.
White people.
Not everyone.
What are you gonna do?
It happens. So in my
bad.
mind, I'm like, oh my God, John Cena. It's 2015. We're in Silicon Valley. Someone developed a hoverboard, and he's gonna ride it to the ring. This is gonna be awesome. Or better yet, we haven't had a flyover yet. He can come out and just simply, they could time the flyover with him this, and then as he does this, the flyover over top. That could happen. Or better yet, he could like a helicopter could just come over and he could just paratroop out of the helicopter. None of these things happened.
all fantastic
Not a lot.
ideas,
All
however.
wonderful ideas that I'm sure came up in a brain or similar ones.
And all very, very expensive.
Of course.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania and all I remember tweeting, coming out in a tank, greater than a patriotic video package. And I love me a good patriotic video package. But he came out in a tank. John Cena comes out. We see the towel.
It's not even an extra big towel for WrestleMania or
Nope.
something,
It could have been a beach towel size.
right?
If John came out with the whole elaborate gimmick and get up and whatever,
Nikki and furs.
right, he would have gotten booed harder.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because he got booed.
They didn't give people anything to boo.
I appreciate that.
They
I feel
understated it, and that's how it was supposed to be. And for the majority, the heels got the bigger entrances.
that is fair.
Because that's how everything works, and I'd explain it to you, but you ought to give me money first.
I've been on his website. There's places to give him money.
Very true.
So, John Cena comes out, runs straight to the ring. They're about to announce him as the challenger because you announced the challenger first. Rusev does not like this and screams that he insists he's announced first. And they announce, introducing first the challenger.
That may have been my favorite part.
That was so much
Poor
fun.
Lillian.
Then they introduce John Cena. The match starts. Oh, this match. I think this is my favorite match of the night. Like, minus the... Like, I feel like Armchair Booker, again, I feel like you should just flip this with Extreme Rules. That said, they didn't do that, so we have to deal with what happened, and this
Right.
was a great match. They told an amazing story in 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Just,
What I liked was John Cena has a terrible reputation of not being able to do anything new, different, or innovative. And I'm kind of behind that a little bit. I think he gets a little lazy, but that's just me. But he managed to, he hit his usual stuff all at once, and then he never did it again, and he did everything else that was different and he's never done before.
Yep.
He was the best version of himself that night.
yes,
That is why he won. He was as good as he could have possibly been.
I agree, including what I'll call the CKO.
Oh.
Sure.
The CKO, if John Cena does it, it's a CKO, not an RKO. That looked beautiful.
Yep.
This whole
Yeah,
match,
it was a surprise.
Lana throwing shoes was just perfect.
That was brilliant. That actually was the move of the match.
But throwing both her shoes, we get Lana on the apron. Rusev running at John Cena. John Cena moves. Rusev hits Lana. Lana, who's now shoeless, appears to break her ankles.
How convenient.
Falling off the apron. I know, right?
It really was.
John Cena, over. John Cena is your United States champion. Next night, he did not come out with a spinner belt.
Damn.
I was really hoping
Rocking
to
the
just,
chain gang.
I was really hoping
Life.
He didn't come out with a new T-shirt though.
he did come out with that new
I'm
T-shirt.
gonna be champion for a little bit.
That was my first reaction. That's what you're telling us when you've already printed the shirts.
No, but then that Dean Ambrose
Surprise,
match,
surprise.
that Dean Ambrose match was so good that I was maybe they printed a shirt for one night.
They've been known to do things like that.
That's
It's
whatever.
Fine.
I think they are getting really good at throwing people off.
Yes,
Well, yeah.
Especially with the social media.
all of us thought
Once
Mizdow
they
was going to win
start
this battle royal.
People who like wrestling are so easily giving their opinions away and being really loud about it. If anybody just wants to read the internet and go, this is what the internet thinks is going to happen. Well, we can change that.
Also, after the match, Arnold Scullin's widow is at ringside. John Cena hugs her. Very special moment. Lana, who's being worked on by the trainers, Rusev just scalds her and keeps walking. Mm-hmm. Love it.
It's like,
Somebody's going to have to pay tonight.
Love
In the
everything about
doghouse.
And
In their new house in Nashville.
so,
kayfabe.
so looking forward, we have 2 matches.
And the sun is still out.
The sun is still
It's
out.
Yeah.
really bright in this arena.
I
Which is
remember
why
even-
I thought there was at one time thought of a possibility of Wyatt Undertaker main eventing. Mm-hmm. Just for the sake of that.
Just for the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because an arena show on the West Coast means that right now it's not even 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and you have 2 matches left. We're gonna have a segment, some type of segment. Triple H and Stephanie come out. Triple H in a suit. Now that I recall, it was walking a little gingerly, probably because he tore something. Mm-hmm. And Stephanie McMahon grabs the microphone and talks about how there's 76,976 fans. I think that's attendance-wise like the 4th biggest WrestleMania. That definitely shatters the attendance record for that stadium. Mm-hmm. It'd be really difficult to top it. That's why they do what they do. And she immediately turns it and makes it all about her.
That's why we love her.
This is because
She's good at
of
that.
me. This is because of us. And you are all mine, essentially. And there's a gentleman who goes by the People's Champion who did not care for that very much. And he comes
Sure
out.
not.
He comes out and confronts her about it. And she ultimately does not back down. The Stephanie McMahon we all know and love. Not backing down, not doing anything. And
to the
Slaps the
Queendom.
At
taste
one
out
point-
of his mouth.
it slaps the taste out of his mouth. Without the McMahons, there will be no Rock. And it's just like and it's just this really bold moment. And she essentially calls his bluff. Like, what are you gonna do? Hit a woman? He's like, oh, I'm gonna fight Triple H, and it's like, well, whatever. Your problem's with me. Are you gonna hit a woman? Are you gonna get into a physical contest? Like you were on Saturday Night Live last night promoting like one of the biggest movies of the summer. Are you really gonna do any of this? Mm-hmm. And she kind of called his bluff a little, and he got out of the ring. And I was like, wow, that's weird. And because I was up in the press box, I didn't get to see the moment where they had introduced Ronda Rousey, and the four horse women were ringside. Mm-hmm. So he immediately walks over on his way out and notices Ronda Rousey, and then looks at her, and then looks back up the ring and invites her into the ring. And then,
So good.
And then Stephanie McMahon carries this whole segment just talking, blah, blah, blah. You're an MMA fighter. She's a friend of mine. This isn't going to happen. You
Yeah,
think
we're like
anything's going to
BFFs.
happen.
She's not gonna hit
We're
me.
like, whatever. Which I love this oblivious character of Stephanie McMahon. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that this is probably the most dangerous woman. This is probably the most dangerous woman in the world. This segment is probably 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long segment, and I think they planned for it because The Rock, who can tell The Rock to tighten it up?
I think that's why they put the Battle Royal pre-show, because
Yeah.
they timed everything out. Oh, crap, Rocky's available.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we got to,
I think that was a
And
mistake.
Rhonda's gonna be here. Let's make this happen.
As much as I enjoyed the segment, it dragged.
Yep.
It dragged. And
Dragged.
so you put the tag match in there, and it would have been fine.
Yep. But it didn't, and it took a lot of time to set up. But we did get this amazing moment with Ronda
good.
Rousey hip tosses Triple H, and then
This was a good hip toss.
and then then pretty much like shoot arm locks Stephanie until she goes out of the ring, and then The Rock and Ronda Rousey celebrate, and we notice The Rock, while they're both here, go with 2-on-2. We doing this?
Yeah.
And Bleacher Report was very quick to dampen my hopes today, where they said the contract with Ronda Rousey was a one-time
For now.
like a one night thing.
Right.
I mean, that can all change.
Her next fight is in August.
Well, I mean, which is why I don't think we're going to see that at SummerSlam. But
No.
dude, they got 100,000 people to film next year.
Oh yeah, that
what a great way.
At the very least, it needs to be like a Triple H versus Rock, with Stephanie in one corner, Ronda Rousey in another corner. Because as long as Ronda Rousey's at the UFC, she's not taking any type of contact
No.
in a wrestling ring.
Probably not.
As was seen by, did anybody else see Dana White's tweet at that moment?
No.
Dana White just tweeted an emoticon. It was this bug-eyed. Like that was Dana White's tweet. It was just an emoticon with the bug-eyed thing.
As if he hadn't signed off on it and didn't know it was going to happen or something.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this segment was way too long, and it was followed by, because the sun's finally down,
Downish.
entrance of the night.
Thought it was really good.
I thought it was
Wasn't
awesome
the
entrance.
entrance of the night, but I thought it was pretty
I'd give
good.
it to Rusev, but I thought this one with the scarecrows was
Yeah.
a bunch of NXT extras. Such an awesome just with the scarecrow. I mean, I'm all about the visual. I love the visual. And just in general, remember years ago with Undertaker in the hands, kind of.
That was,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite of his WrestleMania
Yeah,
entrances.
but even the visual, just the big screen, you see Bray with the scarecrows.
it was so
awesome.
good. And then Taker, like you get a podium with some fire, but not
But it's
on the
still
same
the
level.
Undertaker,
Yeah,
but
Like it's still the Undertaker. It's still cool.
They just didn't
Right.
need it. Yeah, and everyone
then
just
he
wanted
was-
to see him, and is he walking, and what's
Yeah.
he gonna do?
What's he wearing?
Just
Like-
him is enough.
And then you still get the big leather trench coat. You get
Right.
you get the tombstone hat. Once he takes off the tombstone hat, you notice he's grown his hair out since last WrestleMania.
Looks so much better.
It look I don't know how
So
to
much
feel.
more Undertaker-y.
He
Little
looked,
bit.
He looked a lot. He looked like himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he looked
Last
that's
year,
what it
like
was.
half
he was-
biker guy, half.
He was too damn thin. I don't
Yeah.
know. He must have been
He looked
sick
pretty
or
healthy here.
something. He was just so thin. Now he's managed to bulk back up, and he's looking like himself again.
And bell rings. Bray Wyatt in the corner, really getting into it, really getting into the crowd, like just screaming at him, like you're not the boogeyman, I can take you. Bell rings, runs at him, big boot.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yes.
That's what happens when you underestimate your opponents. You
Which-
get hit in the face.
One thing we all have to give props to Bray Wyatt. He built a match for about 60 days with no opponent.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
We were all this is second to last in the card because it's a great match with a great build. And Undertaker did not show up till that night. That is a true testament to Bray Wyatt.
I thought obviously not this past Raw, but the Raw before Mania. I thought Bray Wyatt had my favorite promo by him ever.
Yeah.
It was so great, and he's cool because you interview him and he says, I mean, even though I think he should always be in character, they interview him and say, I want to be in that spot. I want to be the guy that says, congratulations, you're facing Bray Wyatt, the same way everyone thinks about Undertaker. And that's a cool goal to have.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the best goal to have. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't know if this match lived up to my hopes for it.
A little bit, but the hopes are so high.
I wanted more otherworldliness to
Yeah.
the match itself. It ended up just being two men fighting. I wanted another level. Something
bit.
beyond that. He brings out the urn and tries to steal the power from the Undertaker.
Or even if just like a lightning strike on a turnbuckle just to mess with him. But I would like that, but I also enjoyed he's Undertaker, he's just an old doc at this. It's WrestleMania, let's go.
Yep.
And then he takes Bray Wyatt down.
Yep.
Did you like this
Yeah,
match?
I think after all that build-up, it could have used a little more pomp and circumstance
It needed the magic.
or something.
There's
Yeah.
not enough magic in wrestling anymore. There's just
That
not.
is fair.
And Bray Wyatt's shtick just kind of gets tired for me anyway.
Really?
Before this kind of
Yeah.
resurgence for WrestleMania, and so I don't. He always takes it so far, so he just really always has to keep taking it further.
A
for me.
15-minute match, and the moment we all remember: crab walk, dead man sit up, crab walk drops.
He just kind of melted. Just like, oh, crap.
Because it's
what
one
have
thing.
I done?
It's one thing to see that. It's another thing to be doing your shtick and like, oh my god, he stood up.
He just sat up and looked him right in his face. And the crowd wasn't as into this match. And unfortunately, where I was sitting, there were 4 smelly apes sitting in front of me who were just sort of muttering to themselves, I should retire.
Don't talk about your AfterBuzz TV co-host that way.
I was in the press box. I was not.
Well, you weren't one of the apes.
Thank you.
But I don't know. Nobody seemed to bite on the cookie, so to speak. But by that time, the moment he sat up, everybody went, oh! You gotta have that moment. He still got that power. I would have liked to see him a little bit more powerful in this match. Mm-hmm. He looked like he was taking a lot of punishment, and he was weaker. At least he looked a little weaker. I would have liked to see him a little stronger.
Was great. We had 2 tombstone pile drivers. The second tombstone pile driver, 1, 2, 3. Undertaker is 22-1.
22-1.
22-1 at WrestleMania.
Doesn't have quite the same ring
No, that's
to
why
it,
they didn't flash it over the screen. That said, there's a Twitter I really like called Wrestling GIFs, who within 2 minutes had a GIF of that shot of him in the middle of the ring, down like this, and then all the fireworks happening as the sun is almost setting. And it was just this amazing visual that I retweeted almost immediately.
Yep.
And we're heading into the main event, the world title match. It's going to be Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But before we do, I've got to stump George.
Ooh.
User at Koenig Chandler, Koenig Chandler, asks, including the ECW title, how many world title changes have happened at WrestleMania between WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania 31? So the one that just happened.
Total title changes?
Total title changes. No, total world title changes. So not IC, not US, not tag. The top tier belts. So most of the WrestleManias, that's the one, just the WWE Championship. For that moment in the middle, it's all 2, and then all 3, and then back to the 1.
I mean, I don't know the exact number right now, but it's one of those things where, no joke, I can go one by one.
If you can count it
add it
out.
up.
Well, I mean, I don't think we have time. I mean, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if 4 considered as a title change because it didn't really change. It was just more of a crown a new champion. You got 5 change, 6 change, 7 change, 8 change, 9 change twice, 10 change once, 11 change, 12 change, 13 change, 14 change, 15 change, 16 change, 17 change, 18, 19, 20 change once because there were 2 things, 21 change twice. I'm already losing count. Yeah. But 22 change once, 23 change once, 24. You said including or excluding ECW? Including, so that one was 24. When Kane beat Chavo. The match was...
20. You're at 20.
No. But
You're 24 still?
24. Yeah, Undertaker won. 25, Cena and Triple H retained. There was no ECW championship match. 26, Cena won. Jericho retained.
Ooh.
27, Miz retained. 20, the other one, Edge retained. 28, Punk retained. Who was the other match? Who was the other two? Oh, Sheamus won.
Okay.
29.
That was a quick match.
Rock won. I'm sorry, Cena won. The other one retained. Then 30, Daniel Bryan won. So add them all up. I don't know. I don't feel like counting, but as you can clearly tell,
not stumped.
It's not so much that I didn't.
Not stumped even a little bit.
Easily tell. I just know off the top of my head.
27. I think the number was 27, but he clearly listed it out for us. We do have to move on.
That's impressive.
Hashtag Stump George.
I don't know how you do that.
That was impressive.
Lots of
Hashtag Stump George next time.
I like it.
Next time.
Hashtag no friends. Main event. My favorite match of the night.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
This is probably my favorite match of the night as well.
I'm gonna show the logo.
So,
I thought you said the other one was favorite match of the night.
It was. I lied. I lied. This was my favorite match of the night. So, pretty much the way this match happened, to start F5.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere
F5,
right away.
F5 doesn't go for the cover. He wants to punish him. He wants to punish Roman Reigns. How dare you win the Royal Rumble and try to further your career? But let's be clear, Brock Lesnar, huge face reaction. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved seeing him. Everyone loved everything about this match.
bothers me so much that he's so well liked.
And
Really? Why?
Does. He's not, oh, God, it's
Do you
such
think he's not worthy of the like?
It's not. It's just it's not that. It's just he isn't what wrestling is. He's not a wrestler.
Yeah, I can.
he's a beast. He's
But
He's
why
an
do you
attraction.
like
see what
that?
you mean.
And everybody complains about John Cena having such a limited move set. Bar tonight, he has done 2 moves. That's it. In the last, I don't even know, 5-6 months, he's done 2 freaking moves.
one
That's
of which he did an F5, doesn't go for a pin. Hits him with a German suplex. That's 1. And then Reigns start fighting back. People don't like him. They're starting to boo. And then Lesnar's smiling like he likes that people are booing Reigns. Lesnar gets him with a second German suplex. And then Heyman has a big smile, and they cut to a shot of him with that big smile. Couple more German suplex, and then he says, "What's now become a meme? Suplex City expletive."
It's actually become a best-selling shirt.
Really?
Yep.
I
Shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Already?
I want one.
Yep. Wow.
I would like one very much.
Smart person even started that going.
Yep.
And then just Lesnar just keeps just laying on the pain. Me and Rosenberg happened to have interviewed Paul Heyman at Radio Row Friday morning. And Paul Heyman, and by morning I mean 6 a.m., neither of us were awake, but Paul Heyman, even in his sleep, was able to explain that this is going to be a prison beating. And it was. It was, and he was not lying. Lesnar's completely in control, dominating all the offensive action. Finally, just Reigns gets Lesnar to the ring post on the floor, and the shot busts Lesnar wide open. And by this point, Lesnar was already bleeding a little. But this is just Lesnar bleeding straight from the forehead, just wide open, gushing out. And it's the first time we actually see any advantage on Roman Reigns' end. Up to now, I'm just like, oh, this is so exciting. They're just going back and forth. They're just going. They're doing it. They're just, it was just it was everything we wanted.
But Roman Reigns wasn't just taking it. He was taking it with a smile.
Yes.
He was absorbing it.
He was absorbing it and
that's
trying
more
to give
than
it back.
That's more than most have done against Brock Lesnar.
Agreed.
He was taking it and just waiting for that moment to finally strike. And he did, and it bled Lesnar.
It just must be so much fun for these guys to get in the ring with Brock Lesnar. You know, he brings all that like ruthless brutality, and it's something different. And I think maybe when you know you're gonna go out there and get your butt kicked, these are the kind of guys who are just sickly. They just love that.
Because it depends on the guy.
Yeah.
Because I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Rock and Brock Lesnar, and after seeing this match, I was like, "There's no way you put Rock in the ring with him."
No.
That guy has a career. Guy has a career where his face needs to look good.
Well,
And Brock Lesnar will not keep his face
It's like a
good.
$300 million face.
The insurance on the Rock is incredibly high.
Sure. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Roman comes back with a couple of Superman punches.
yeah. Roman comes out a couple.
I
Superman.
thought it was over after that second spear. I'm like, this is it. Roman's
Spear.
gonna win, but he kicks out, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Reigns tries to continue the offensive assault. However, Lesnar catches him out of nowhere with an F5. Both guys laid out. Then out of nowhere, Seth Rollins' music.
Did you expect that at all?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's
during
why
the
he's
match or after
that's
the
why
match?
he's held on to it. I did think it was going to come after. Yeah.
I thought this was going to be Monday.
Oh, really?
I did not think this was going to happen in the match. Because historically, Money in the Bank, there have been 15 Money in the Bank winners. Never once has anyone cashed in during a match.
Right.
This is the
yeah.
first time, which, if you looking at it now, obviously this is the time it happens. But at the time, you're like, no. Also, I think Rollins didn't necessarily need to cash in. Because he already looked strong, he looked conniving, and you knew when he was, A, he was going to win, and B, it was going to be the most opportune time. And I was so engrossed with this match, I legitimately did not see this coming. So I was
shock factor.
just such a shock
I'm
factor.
the same way. Like it crossed your mind in the beginning of the match, but then once you're captured in the match, you're like, oh my god, like it just happened. Like,
And also, historically, anytime the Money in the Bank happens, anytime a Money in the Bank cash-in happens, they wait till after the match. So he could have waited for Lesnar to squeak one by.
Almost anytime.
Yes. Except for tonight, he hands the briefcase to Lillian Garcia, who is now the official, because she's closest to the ring, and says, "I'm making it a triple threat match, because the Money in the Bank contract allows you to change a match. So instead of that match ending and then him starting a second match, he's changing that match."
It's probably literally like a scrap of paper about that big that says,
They've-
you get to fight for the championship anytime.
They've put
legally, that's binding.
They've put a PDF of it on their website before.
Are they really?
You can
It's a
print it
real
out.
thing?
Oh, that's cool.
The PDF of the
That's
physical
actually pretty
contract inside the briefcase. The briefcase symbolizes the physical contract.
Right.
But nowadays they don't even open the briefcase.
Well,
You just hand the briefcase
it's
in.
locked
Yeah.
at all times.
Yes.
Because why would you want that contract getting out?
So the bell rings
Well,
again.
remember he had some other crazy stuff in there a while ago.
You know, bomb in there at one point.
So bell rings again. Curb stomp Lesnar. Rollins goes for another one, but Lesnar picks him up for the F5, and goes for a pin. Or no, sorry.
No, Rollins.
Rollins
flips out of
spears
it.
him, and then Reigns spears him out of nowhere. And now we're like, wait, so is it? Are we not?
Right? Wait a minute. Did
Is Seth Rollins? Because that's
Is that it?
that's the problem you run into if you run into that match. Like that's like two rhinos fighting, and then Rollins waiting 20 minutes and going, I can do this. It's like those are still two
I'm gonna
rhinos.
wait
Like
till they're bleeding, but I can do this.
yeah, I can do this. And Rollins hits another curb stop, this time on Reigns. Lesnar's already knocked out from the spear. 1, 2, 3. Rollins is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
It was so quick.
Hightails it out of the ring, makes it to the apron, or makes it to the stage, and just like he did in NXT when he won the NXT World Heavyweight Championship, swings it above his head.
I've done that. That's a lot of fun.
Oh man,
He is such a cocky
He is-
bastard.
he is such a hidden gem of this generation of talent that I'm happy they've refined for about a year, and he's ready. And here's a question I'd like to pose: do we think this was the plan all along?
You'll never, ever know.
That's
That's such a good question.
I thought that the other day. I was like, I wonder if this was their whole plan. Like,
Well-
because I mean, obviously he still had the briefcase. You know, when else was he going to cash it in? You know,
because last year they had to change how WrestleMania happened because of a backlash over what happened at the Royal Rumble.
Or so it seemed. That
fair enough,
too,
that too-
could have been their plan.
Logically, you would think you would want Batista to be your champion as he's promoting this huge movie. In my
He
mind,
wasn't even around when he actually got into the promoting.
I know.
Yeah.
It could go either way. But knowing what I know about what happened last year, I always felt that whatever happened at this WrestleMania was going to be whatever they planned when they put Roman Reigns through the Royal Rumble. So I think this was always the plan. But as you've said, we'll never know.
I think that after Rumble, I think once Rollins showed that he can hang with two of the biggest superstars ever, I think that's when they kind of started a little bit more confidence and say, well, what if we do go there?
Yeah.
What if we do have that as an option? You know, so I think
Either
it
They
was
wanted to
after
test it out first.
Either
I
or,
think it was
this
after
is
the Rumble where I think they really considered that
an amazing
happening.
ending to an amazing show.
Yeah.
So much so. Do you want to know how many people watched Raw the following night?
A lot.
5.6 million.
Wow.
It's
Then.
probably the most. I think it was the most viewed Raw since like Raw 1000,
Wow.
and that was I think 2 years ago. Like that was a while ago.
And it was a good show.
But it was such a good show.
What was your favorite moment as far as if you were to have to screen grab one shot from Mania just to kind of define it all? Like, what do you think was your favorite moment?
To define the entire
Well,
show.
maybe not
and
define it.
entire
I
show.
guess
Your
that's-
favorite
yeah.
moment that you
What
could
was your
pick out.
favorite moment?
Maybe Rusev hitting Lana
Really?
off the apron. Yeah, it was just
Ooh.
so, it's like such a genius in the storyline and the whole, you know, I like the story and I like when the chicks get involved and
She took a brutal bump too.
she really did.
She did.
Yeah, and she gets so much love from the fans and that was like sort of yeah, look at me. I can, you know, I could fall down crazy too. All right? I can take it too. I may have been in the diva search and I'm never a diva, but I can take a fit. I
Bring
can
back
take
the
a hit.
Diva search.
What about you?
I know, I'm really excited about that.
Also,
What
Total
I've
Divas
already
renewed for
been laughed
season
at.
4. Whatever the
They've already been shooting, is what I hear.
Oh, well, they've only been officially renewed since now, but we can talk
Oh,
about.
well, hey, yeah.
We're running a little short on time.
Either way, we'll be watching. Well, it comes back in July. It's not even a long time. So
brief section for predictions. No need for an intro.
Oh,
just
I want to know Hobo's favorite WrestleMania.
Oh, sorry. We
yeah.
were in the middle of something.
No, that's fine. It's so difficult to take the favorite because there were so many great matches. This was one of the rare WrestleManias where it all seemed to come together. It was a dark horse as a show in total. Nobody thought it was actually going to do much, but it surprised and it really did amaze. And I gotta say, Sting versus Triple H is something no one has ever seen before. It's the first time you've ever seen him at a WrestleMania being Sting. And I thought that Sting would lose, and he did, because that's what matters. And that's got to be it, man.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it was really, and even not that everything on the internet matters, but a lot of good feedback. Like, I haven't really heard any backlash at all.
Yeah.
Well, there's been some.
Well, there'll always be some.
Yeah.
But, like, this year, much like last year, like, there's an overall positive sentiment about, like, this is just a really good Mania, which is good because this Mania, on paper, heading into it, there were a lot of negative things said. Some people comparing it to WrestleMania 9.
It's been a transitional year for the company.
I know.
It's been a tough year for the company. Honestly, they've been pushing the network. They've been dealing with stock prices, yo-yoing, and all sorts of different stuff.
Vince ain't a billionaire no more.
Right. Problems in NXT, change of guard down there. It's been a rough year, and I think everybody knew that they were really under the gun.
It had to be good.
And they delivered.
And they felt the pressure, and pressure can make diamonds. And everybody was a diamond tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
$12.6 million door, their biggest door.
So eloquently put.
Jeez.
I like it.
I think it was something in the area like 4 or 5, 6 million, just March over the week. They made a lot of money.
Congratulations, you all spent that much money.
Get it?
I mean, I know San Jose took a lot of my money. So a lot of local taco shops in San Jose took my money.
Oh, that's good. Support the local places. That's cool.
My thing was, we had a rule is I didn't want to go to anywhere that you can go to LA in. So I tried to avoid
that.
McDonald's
That's
and
smart.
Jack in the Box.
Smart.
But yeah.
Well, I know you guys did a ton of like access and behind the scenes and interviews and all that. I know you've met a lot of the superstars a million times, but was there anything from that, anything juicy that you want to share with the fans or anything that surprised you meeting certain superstars?
I met Charlotte at Radio Row, and it was her first Radio Row and her second interview at a Radio Row ever.
Wow.
And she was sweet as pie. She actually, of all the people I took a
What
picture
kind
with,
of pie?
cherry.
Okay.
Of all the people,
No. She'd be more badass. She'd be like black cherry pie.
yes, thank you.
Let me just say this. I was there live at the NXT show. That was probably up there with Mania. Were you there?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that was insane.
I was
Yeah.
on the floor for that. That
Oh
was
my
great.
God, it was. I hope they at least at some point release some of those matches or some of those moments because
They were filming them,
Yeah.
so they have them at least in the vault. Who knows? It was
It'll pop up on the network as a special.
And another thing I want to say too is I remember watching Mania and I'm thinking I cannot wait till Finn Balor has that kind of entrance at WrestleMania.
yeah.
Because that's going to be awesome. in
When
its
I
own
met
right.
Finn Balor and I tweeted the picture, what I said was, mark my words, by this time next year, Finn Balor will have been on the main roster and fought for a title.
Oh, you guys are putting a lot of faith.
I have that much faith in Finn Balor.
We
Well,
already did
it's-
see the Lucha Dragons and Adrian Neville on Raw. So
Yes.
Oh,
Great.
that was cool.
I thought the
That was
Lucha Dragons got a
really cool.
huge pop.
Yeah.
The crowd went crazy for
Cool.
Lucha
Well, I was
Still-
clearly all NXT fans in that crowd,
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
they knew who they were about to see, and they did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Callisto really, I had heard that he had some trouble, some nervousness when he was in front of an audience, but it seemed to have subsided because he was perfect last night, or Monday night rather. So I don't know what day it is.
None of us know what
In
day
a
it is.
business where everybody says it's a work, I mean, look, I'm not going to argue that. But my thing is, I love seeing, like, real emotion from the guys and seeing Paige out there. And notice when you walk out, when you watch Mania again, look at Paige. Like, you can tell, like, she's, like, in awe. Seeing Adrian Neville debut on Raw, crowd going crazy for him, you can tell he's got, like, he's like, oh my God, like I'm here. You know, that's one of the things I love most about professional wrestling, just seeing true raw emotion in that. So,
And if you work really hard, you can get that from people.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to leave it.
I
Yep.
like it.
That's
Hard work pays off, dreams do come true.
George, if people wanted to stump you with just random wrestling trivia, where could they find you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Hermoza. So that's GHERMOZA. Why don't you do a hashtag Stump George? That way I can look it up and try and stump me.
Look it up.
Well, I mean, look it up. I mean, I will type
Look
it.
at it. And
Look at it. Look it up. That way, I'm not going to look it up.
Challenge
we
pose.
have a thing. You
fans.
PM me, and I facilitate.
It's a whole thing.
I am on Twitter at TrueHobo. ProWrestlingTees.com is my website. Go buy a shirt because Curtis Axel will probably be wearing it very, very soon.
That's true.
You can chop it all up like the divas do. And everybody, I'm on all social media at Christy Reports. And please also check out my YouTube channel. I do have some exclusive interviews with some of your favorite superstars and divas. So check it out.
And I, as always, am at Steve Kauffman. That's KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz, including Suits, Modern Family, and Gotham. You can find, and I'll be tweeting about all those things when they happen. Good night, guys.
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.